everyone, welcome to Jolly Molly TV. Today we're going to make another fun block in Kimberbell's Red, White, and Bloom quilt/wall hanging project. And today, like we did last week, we're actually going to be making 3 blocks, but the technique is going to be the same for all 3. We're going to be working on the pop bottles. Look at this. We've got this one over here, another one up here, and a third one down here. Now this one is going to be using the same embroidery file. Last week we switched. We had a firework going to the left and a firework going to the right. But this week, all 3 of these are going to be the same. The only difference is going to be the background. We won't be doing the little pinwheels this week. That's going to be coming in the embellishment video. But right now, for today, we're just going to focus on embroidering those 3 blocks, okay? So go ahead and grab your plastic pouch system or plastic zip system that's labeled pop bottles, and let's head over to the embroidery machine and let's get started. Okay, are you ready to work on the pop bottles? Let's do this. Let's go to the screen. Here we go. And we want to load the design first. So if you're following along in the instructions, we're on page 23. We're going to be doing the pop bottles. So I have a Embroidery machine just for reference if you want to follow along if you have something similar. Click on embroidery. I keep all my files on a flash drive. So I want to click on the flash drive. Then I have several projects going on here at once, but right now we're focusing on Red, White, and Bloom. So I'm going to click on that. And because we're quilting as we go with this project, we need to load the quilting designs first. So I have those in a quilting subfolder. Okay, so if you look at page 23 of the instructions, you're going to look at the bottom right where it says trimming instructions. The squared finished block is going to be a 2.5 by 6.5 inch block, which means the quilting design I'm looking for is this one right here, 2 by 6. That's going to fit very nicely on this block with allowances for the seams. So that's the one I want to pick. Look, it came up and said 2.5 by 6.5 with a tack down, so we are perfect. Click set. Now I'm going to add the quilting design, and just like in my previous videos, if you can't add on top of a design, don't worry. Go ahead and stitch this out first, clear your machine, come back in and add the applique design and then stitch that out. So if you can add, that's great. It saves you a teeny bit of time, but if you can't, that's okay too. So I'm going to go to the flash drive to add it. I'm going to go back to Red, White, and Bloom. And I'm looking for the pop bottle, and here it is down here, pop bottle block. Let's click on that one. And it's definitely going to fit in a 5 by 7 hoop. If you want to use that one, that's great. Let's click set. And we don't have to touch anything. Click embroidery. And we are ready to go. So let's go back to the hoop cam. And the first thing you're going to notice is, wait, she's not using a 5 by 7 hoop. No, this design will fit in a 5 by 7 hoop. I just like to use my 8 by 8 inch hoop on the Dream Machine because it's a little easier for you to see on camera with everything lying flat and large. So I tend to use this one just for show on the video, but you can definitely use your 5 by 7 hoop. First thing I want to show you are the 3 fabrics which I have selected to make this block out of. And you're like, 3? Yes, because we're going to make 3 of this block. And the cool thing about this is it's 3 of the exact same file. So what we just loaded on the machine, you only have to do it once. Once we get to the end, it'll say embroidery is done. You click OK. It will immediately bring you back to the start of the block, and you just proceed and make a second one. And you do the same thing and make a third one. So this is going to be really easy. The only thing we're going to be changing throughout are thread colors for the tack down and the quilting behind it. But other than that, it's going to be pretty much the same thing times 3. So get your 3 fabrics out that you're going to be using for this block. Also make sure you have a fusible behind it. I have the Paylon 860. You can also use the SF 101. Make sure they're fused because it helps support the cotton backing. So which one you want to do first? You want to do red, Let's do the red one first. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is I want to do the placement stitch for the batting and get that tacked down. But I'm going to go ahead and put red thread in to match this, because then I really don't have to change anything. I'm going to quilt this in red, so I want a red to go with it. And that red wasn't exactly the red I was looking for. I think this one. Let's see, which one do you think? Let's see. Nope, this one is actually a better red because I want a darker red to go with that. Okay, so this one's out. All right, so now this is the thread that I'm going to put in the top of my machine. Okay, so I've got red thread up on top. Let's go ahead and stitch the placement line for the batting. Foot down and away we go. So now we're going to lay our batting down and just make sure you've got all that placement line covered, and either tape it down or hold it down like I do, and let's tack down the batting. Okay, so let's take the hoop off the machine. Let's go over to the table and let's trim away the excess batting. So now the next step is going to be to stitch out the placement line for the fabric. So let's leave red thread up on top. It's going to match the fabric, and let's stitch out this placement line. Okay, so I'm going to lay my fabric down. If you have directional fabric, just make sure you have it in the direction you'd like it to be. And you can feel the batting. I got plenty on around each side of the placement line. So let's tack it down. So the next step is the quilting, and I'm going to quilt this in red to allow the fabric and the pop bottle to do its little, shining moment, as I call it. So red thread up on top, and let's quilt this block. All right, now we get to do the pinwheel stick. And I think I'm going to do mine in gold. Because what's more patriotic than red, white, blue, and gold, right? Okay, so I'm going to put gold thread, here, up in the top of the machine. I've got it on my thread stand because it's a large spool. So I'm going to bring this down. Load the gold thread. Ooh, that'll be pretty. You can see it now. Okay, let's thread the needle. So put the color thread of your choice in the top of the machine that you want to be the stick of the pinwheel. You can choose any color at this point. All right. Once you do that, let's put the foot down and let's stitch out the stick. Here we go. All right, that's going to be pretty. Okay, now let's see. it's going to put the placement line for the bottle next. So I'm going to take the gold thread out of my machine, and I want you, while we're doing this, to get your embellishment kit and get out the piece of clear vinyl. There's actually going to be 3 pieces in this kit. You can kind of see it there. It's a pretty large piece. There's going to be 3 pieces. So get this out of your embellishment kit and peel off 1 out of the 3. We only need 1 at this point. Okay. Then I'm going to put thread into the top of the machine. That kind of represents, I'm thinking, the edge of a bottle. And they chose like a dark silver. And I think that's really good because it kind of accents the edge of a bottle like what glass would be. You could go kind of a turquoise if you wanted. If you had like one of those old-fashioned turquoise glass bottles. This one, I think I'll go with the silver because I think that will look nicely on the fabric as well. So I'm going to put this thread on top of the machine, and then we're going to stitch out the placement line. Actually, lines. There's 4 little lines we're going to be stitching that shows us where we're going to be putting that vinyl. Okay, you got the vinyl out of your kit. All right, so let's stitch out the 4 placement lines for the vinyl. Here we go. So now you're probably thinking to yourself, well, why didn't they do a normal placement line like they always do? Well, they're doing minimum this time because I really don't want it that much showing through the design because we're putting on a clear vinyl. So they're going to keep it to the minimum, and then that, of course, will be covered up. Plus, you can see through the vinyl nicely to get a good placement line. So I am just going to leave about 1/4 inch on top, 1/4 inch on the side, and put the foot down to help kind of hold it, which it really doesn't do much, but it's close. Then I'm going to hold this very gently, or you can tape it down either way, and let's tack down this vinyl. Hold it very gently, or you can tape it in place, either way. Isn't that fun? Look at this. Oh my gosh, that is too much fun. Okay, I've got little thread extra there, and I'll get this other one when I go over to the table. Cool, so let's go over to the table and let's trim away this excess vinyl. Trim close, but be very careful not to nick those stitches. There's not going to be any additional stitches afterwards, so we want to make it as clean as we can, but not nick those stitches because that's what's holding the vinyl down. Let's go do that. Okay, we're back at the machine. See, we didn't use that much vinyl. And even this little piece, you think, well, you could cut that off. No, you could actually use that probably for like a truck window or something. A window on another vehicle and another project. Even that small little piece here could provide useful in the future. Never want to waste because it'd be like, oh, shoot, I need enough just for a window. And I don't have enough of a piece to do a window. You never know when that little piece could come in handy. So I save everything like that. So now we've got one step left. It wants us to choose a neutral color thread to stitch a cut line. I want to go back to this. This is going to be something that we are going to literally cut on the line. and any leftover is going to be in a seam allowance. So I'm going to go ahead and put that silver thread back up in there and use that for this line. It's something that, again, we're going to use it as a cutting line, but it's also going to be in the seam allowance, so no one will ever see it. But this will make it a little bit easier for you to distinguish where to cut. All right, so let's go ahead and stitch out the cutout line. Okay, well that was kind of weird because it literally stitched it right on top of that outside line. There is no difference between the two. So that's okay. It's a step that we might not have needed because I have normally been teaching you to cut on this outside line, but not a big deal. You can stitch it out. Again, this thread color will help you be able to see it a little bit better, but we're still going to trim on that outside line. But you did it. You just did the main body of a pop bottle block. Yay! Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to make 2 more of the same thing. The only thing that's changing, again on my blocks, is going to be the background fabric, which means the thread color that I'm going to use for this white glitter fabric is going to change to white for the white quilting. The turquoise one over here will be a matching turquoise thread for the placement line, the tack down, the batting, tack down of the fabric, and the quilting. The pop bottle is going to be the same. I'm going to do gold stick, and I'm going to do the same silver gray for the pop bottle. So it's literally the same steps. Again, just change your thread through the quilting for whatever you want to have match or stand out on your background fabrics. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's fast forward through here and let's stitch out another one of these blocks. Okay, so now I'm going to go over the table and I'm going to trim away the excess vinyl around this bottle, again being very careful. I also noticed that it's easier to trim vinyl like this with very small snip cuts. Don't try to take a big cut, just do small increments and inch your way across, and that way you have more control. It's easier to cut the vinyl and you don't nick those stitches. Now on this next stitch, when I come back, I'm not going to do it. It's that outer cutting line, which is the same as this outer stitch line. So you can easily skip that step, and I'll show you here how to skip that step. Down here on the Dream Machine, there's a plus and minus button here. Let me put the hoop back on so it doesn't say, oh, my hoop's not attached. There we go. Hoop is on. I'm going to hit the plus and minus. And this down arrow means I'm going to skip that step. So I hit the down arrow, and it's now done. So it's automatically gone back to the very first step, which is where I want to be. Click OK. Because we're going to need to make one more of these blocks. Okay, so when I take this off now, yes, it's okay. And I go over and I stitch around this vinyl, this block is done. Okay, I'm going to set it aside, and then we're going to do one more. Okay, so we're going to do exactly the same thing. You can either go back to the first version that we walked through step by step, or the fast forward version. And I'm going to make one more block with this fabric instead, switching my quilting to the teal color, the teal blue color, to blend in with this block. And then I will meet you over at the machine with all 3 blocks done, okay? Because you've got the tools now. You can do this. Again, you can rewind to the first video, walk through step by step, or rewind to the fast forward to help guide you through these steps. But I know you can make this 3rd block on your own, and then we'll meet back at the table with all 3 done. And just like that, we have the 3rd pop bottle done. Isn't that cute? I really like how this fabric too has a little bit of glitter on it, so then the glitter sparkles through the soda bottle. That's really cute. So let's go ahead and take this out of the hoop, and you have done it. You have completed all 3 soda bottle blocks. There we go. The white one, have a green one, and then we have a red one. Aren't those cute? Okay, so now we're going to trim these up. All right, so let's start with the first one. And these blocks are going to measure 2.5 by 6.5. And they should be pretty well right on that cut line, or as I always show you, the outside stitch line. This one I actually stitched out the cut line, but it is exactly the same on these other blocks. It's hard to see, so we can see it here. It is this outside stitch line. It's the one that tacked down the fabric. This one right here. That's the one we're going to trim on. Really easy. I love how Kimberbell makes it so easy. So it's really kind of hard to mess it up. I mean, it's still possible. Trust me, I've done it. But this way, if you follow that outer stitch line, you won't make a mistake. Okay? It's really easy. So we're just going to look for that outer stitch line, line the ruler up on it, and I go just a smidgy, just a smidgy. Can I see that stitch line through the ruler? Yes, I can. So now it's safe to cut. Okay. So now we're going to flip it, and we're going to measure this one, because this should be 6.5 inches. So I've lined it up on 10. I need to go to 16.5. If I line it up on that, I'm right on that stitch line. So that's good. I can see it. It's right on the edge of the ruler, and that's where I want to be. So I'm going to trim it. And now we're going to come back to this one. And this is easy. This is going to be 2.5. So if I put it on 12, it should go to 14.5, and it does. See that stitch line and go just a hair past it. Yes, I can see that stitch line. And I cut it. I come over here, measure it to 2.5. And there we go. Can I see that stitch line? Yes, I am right on it. Literally right on that stitch line. I got some thread. Get rid of all those. And look, you have the cutest little pop bottle block. Isn't that adorable? They're so cute. Kimberbell does have cuteness down perfectly. I love it. Let's put that aside. And now with the magic of TV, we're going to fast forward and trim the next 2 blocks. So we have that one done as well. Isn't that cute? Look at those. You did it. You absolutely did it. Those are super cute. All right, get my mess out of the way here so you can see everything. Those are really, really cute. Look at that. Look at that with a close-up. Aren't they super cute? I'm so happy with the way they came out. And I hope you are too. All right. So I hope you had as much fun today making these as I did. And I hope you stay tuned here on my channel, Jelly Molly TV, for more videos in this fun project and a lot more projects that are in the works and coming very soon. Please subscribe to my channel. It is free and it helps me do what I do for you, and I truly appreciate it. And also click that like button and click that bell notifications. That way you won't miss a single video that I put up on YouTube. All right, everybody, I hope you had fun, and I look forward to another fun day of stitching with you. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.